All right. Here is the, sorry for the delay. There's some technical problems over here. Here we go. So this week we're learning the story of Balak. Balak, the whole Torah portion is called Balak. Balak is this truly evil king. He hires a big sorcerer to curse the Jewish people. And instead, the blessings come out, the curses come out to be, he hires a big sorcerer to curse the Jewish people. And instead, the curses come out to be big blessings. So let's understand exactly what happens and why. Why is this even worthy to be put into the Torah? Vayar Balak ben Sipor, Balak the son of Sipor, strange name, huh? His father's name was Sipor. Sipor means a bird. Call Asher Asa Yisrael Amori, all which the Jews did to the Amorites. As we talked about last week, in the end of last week's Torah portion, we see that the Jewish people, together with Moses, they defeated Sichon and Og, Sichon Melech Amori, Og Melech of Bashan, and the Jews defeated them. And Moab, we'll see. The city of Moab, here we go. Oh, I see, I have to go H1, okay. So they had made a secret pact together with these two big kings, and they were paying them protection money, that they should protect them from anyone who came to make war. And Sichon and Og agreed, and now Israel came along and destroyed Sichon and Og. So all the protection was gone. The king of Moab, which was Balak, he was paying this protection money in secret. He didn't want anybody to know it. He wanted everybody to think that he was really strong. But now, all of a sudden, that Israel defeated Sichon and Og, that was in the end of last week's Torah portion. So now, Balak got really scared, and he started telling everybody about it. And everybody, they got scared. And so he figured the only way he could defeat the Jews was by non-conventional methods. Nothing physical was going to destroy the Jews. So he hired Bilam. And Bilam was this super spiritual power for evil. And he could do things that atomic bombs couldn't do. He could wipe out a whole nations and cities and countries with his curses. How did he do it? How could he have such power? Because the fact is, he worked together with God. He worked together with God. The way God creates the world is that he wants there to be a potential for evil. And that little potential, that's sort of like a hole in the whole Constitution. And therefore, any time that anybody does something bad, as he is able to throw in his energy and curse those people, and they all get destroyed before their time. And the Jews had done some pretty serious, terrible things. And nevertheless, so Bilam accepted the offer. He knew that there's a good chance that he could succeed. The only problem was that he could only curse a person who God gave him permission to curse. In other words, people deserved it. But they deserved it according to God's standards. So all the other nations, if they do bad things, so God has mercy on all the creations, but comes along Bilam, and he knew how to find exactly that little weak spot and curse everybody. And the Jewish people, they also had this weak spot, but he didn't know, he had no idea, and the Jewish people also didn't know, and we also didn't know until this Torah portion came, how much God loves the Jews. Even if they do all sorts of terrible sins and they don't deserve it. And we saw God, they worshiped the golden calf and they were complaining all the time. And in the first temple, they were worshiping idols. And in the second temple, they had hatred one the other. But nevertheless, however it goes, God loves them, which makes, not only does it not make no sense, does it make no sense, it goes against common sense. And Bilam never dreamed that God loved the Jews so much. Never could, and not only did he never dream that he loved that God loved the Jews so much, but it came out that through him, this love was revealed. So God tells him the whole secret about the Mashiach. So here we go. Ready? Let's go. Vayar Balak, that Balak sent Ben Sipur saw. Oh, here we go. Oh, wonderful. Greetings. Okay, Balak, the son of Tzipor, saw all the Jews did to the Amori. Says Rashi, Omar, he said, Elish Nemalachim, these two big kings, Sichon and Og, Shani Batuchim Alayim, that we were certain of them. I just explained that Sichon and Og were the protectors. Everybody paid them protection money. And they were protecting all the other kings and everyone, and especially they were protecting the city of Moab, the country of Moab. And now Israel came and destroyed them. That was right at the end of last week's Torah portion. We didn't have time to go over that last week. Lord, if Sichon and Og, that they were mighty of the mighties, it says that just Sichon alone, or Og alone, he could have defeated them. How much more so, and even their country could have defeated them without Og, and how much more so with them and their country, and nevertheless, Israel wiped them all out. So if they couldn't stand in front of the Jews, how much more so, and therefore, Vayagar Ma'ov, therefore, not only was Balak afraid, Vayar, he saw, but also he was paying this protection money to Og and Sichon in quiet. And when he saw them being destroyed, so he told his people that there was big trouble brewing for all of them. So Moab, the whole country, his whole country, Moab, they all became afraid. Vayagar Moab, Vayagar, who is this? One minute. This thing you have to change. Okay, each time. Next sentence is, we'll go back. By Yagar Moab, Yagar means to be afraid. Yagar Moab, Moab, the whole country got afraid in front of the Jews. Yiravu, because the Jews had been very successful. Right? Their power was very great. Vayakatz Moab mipnei bnei Israel, and they were disgusted in front of the Jews. Rashi says, Yagar is afraid. Vayakatz kitzu b'chayim. They were like, how do you say? They despised their own lives. Kasti b'chayai. Because all these Moab, these people, they were all like debauched, licentious, disgusting people. And to them, it was sure that God doesn't exist. And now we see that not only does God exist, but he's infringing on their very being. He's going to take over the whole country. They never expected that. Oh, wonderful. Oh, we got the whole. That's what he means. The Malbim says, the Yagar Ma'av, that they were afraid. And he saw that Moab, first of all, Balak was afraid. And also he saw his people were also afraid. And you can't go, you can't go out to a war with people if your soldiers are all afraid. Also, we couldn't even sit still because Shalo L'Shavas Riv Shalo Lilachem. He couldn't just sit there and do nothing. He raw Balak, he saw a Yakatz Moab. What does it mean? Shagam Shayugarim. Even though they were afraid, figure maybe you could make peace with the Jews. I'll give them, but they couldn't do that either because they hated them so much. Because they're the Jewish people, they're God's people, and they couldn't stand to live with the Jews, God's people. Just to hear the mention of God just drove them crazy. Shem Zim Etziyam. Okay, they couldn't. That says the Malbim. Vayomer Moab. So Moab went to the elders of Midian. Now the fact is they hated each other, but they saw that they were both going to get killed, so they made peace. This the Jewish people, they're going to lick up all of the surrounding, like an ox licks up the growth of a field. I saw one place that says that an ox doesn't have any teeth on what the bottom or on the top. An ox doesn't. So therefore, but he's very strong. So he grabs onto the whatever he wants to eat and he sort of yanks it out of the ground. So it takes all of the roots out. Balak ben Sipur, and Balak, son of Sipur, he was the king of Moab at this time. Now, eventually, it's going to come out from Moab. It's going to come Ruth, the Moabite, and that's of course going to give birth to King David, who's going to give birth to Mashiach. So this is really attached to Mashiach. Incidentally, or not so incidentally, Bilam. We're going to be introduced to Bilam in a couple of minutes. He gave the best prophecies about Mashiach, clearest prophecies about Mashiach in the whole Torah. Bilam, he tried to curse the Jews, but he couldn't. Rashi says that Balak, the king of Moab, he went to the elders of Midian. They hated each other. Like it says, Make, Midian bestay Moab. It says that the Midian was smitten in the field of Moab. Moab beat him. Shabo Midian al Moab, the Milchama, and Midian came to make war against Moab. So Midian and Moab hated each other. Yitro came from Midian also. Ella Miyiratan Shel Yisrael, because they were afraid of the Jews. Yeah. Because they were afraid of the Jews, they made peace between them. One minute, something is wrong here. Something is wrong. Am I not recording? Could it be? Usually this thing does not work. Not the more I'm recording. I don't know why. Something is wrong over here. Okay, let me just see something. 1 minute. Excuse me. I'll go back. Let's try it again. Here we go. I don't know if I was recording back then. Let me see. Had all sorts of technical problems over here. Oh. All right. There we go. Good. Okay, so it says, weren't they hating each other? Sometimes the text comes out up on my screen, but it doesn't come up on yours. So I'm talking to myself and rambling on. You don't know what I'm talking about. Here it is. So Balak, who's the king of Moab, he goes to Midian and the elders of Midian, who they always hated each other, but now they're afraid of Israel. And they said, we see that Israel is winning the battles not in the normal way. Minagam shel elu b'Midian nitgadel nish'al me'em Miraso, the leader of the Jewish people came from Midian. Remember, Moses had to run away to Midian, and that's where he met with Yisro's daughter. Shalom. Let's find out. We'll go to Midian. We'll ask them. They know something about Moses. I mean, he grew up over there. So they said, "Ein kol choel b'piv." The power of the Jewish people is only in their mouth. Prayer. We'll find also somebody who also has power in his mouth, and who is that going to be? It's going to be Bilam. It says the Jewish people will lick up the whole land like an ox does. Everything that a ox licks, ain lo siman bracha, there's no blessing to it. The says that Balak was the king at that time. He wasn't really fit to be a king. He was one of the leaders. He had been one of the princes of Midian. But since Sichon died, right, the Jews had just killed Sichon, and Manau Alei and Letzorech Hashah, so they knew that Balak, he wanted to be a leader so much that he would do anything to stay in power. They figured maybe he'll be able to save us from Sichon. He's raised on the same thing. Rabbeinu B'chaye says they used to hate each other. Why did all of a sudden they make peace? It says Mashal l'shnei kalavim, like two dogs. Shoyet sohavim, they were barking one the other. Bozev came a wolf on one of them. Unbelievable, he said, Im eno ozro. First, one dog, let's say the black dog is against the white dogs. They're both barking. All of a sudden comes a wolf and attacks the white dog. So the black dog says, that's pretty good. No, he's going to get rid of him. He says, 1 second. If I don't help him today, hooray, hayom, hooray gets there. If I don't help him, hayom, hooray gets there. Today he'll kill my enemy, or the machar bo'alayit, he'll kill me. Therefore, nischabru shneim. Therefore, both of them got together against the wolf. Why did he go to Midian? He said because he saw, that's what he's just explaining Rashi. He saw the Jews were winning in an unusual way, and he knew that Moses grew up in Midian. So he asked them, do you know anything about this fellow, Moses? Can you tell me something about him? And he says, yeah, the Jews, they have their power. They're not that many, but they have power in their mouth. They pray to God. If God's on their side, you're never going to win. With conventional warfare, they said, okay, we've got a secret weapon. We have someone else who has power in their mouth. We didn't know you could win battles with your mouth. So we got somebody who has a bigger mouth than what they do. Bilam. All right. The Balatorim says Yelachachu. It says Yelachachu afar kanachash. It's like a snake licks up the ground. There's other places it says, it brings other places where we use this language lachach. So it says he'll wreck up not only the ground now, but also on the future. It says when first a snake puts its poison in the ground, that it wrecks up not only for now, but also in the future as well. So they figure the Jews will come and take over. So they'll beat us now. That people get beaten, but they'll take over forever. The Jews are going to take over the land forever. So he sent Vayishlach Malachim el Bilam. So they both decided, okay, let's find this Bilam, and he'll come and curse us. He'll come and curse for us. By Yishlach Malachim, they sent messages to Bilam ben Beor in this place called Pesora or Petor, Asher, that's on the river Eretz Bnei Amo, in the nation, in the land where he was, Bilam, to call him and saying, listen, there's this nation that's coming from Egypt. They're covering the face of the earth, and they're right, we can see them. They're right opposite me. Let's just do the next one. We'll see what they want. We'll go back to this. Now come, curse me, because they're tremendously big. Maybe I'll be able to defeat them and get them out of my land. Because I know whoever you bless is blessed and whoever you curse is cursed. Fact is, I don't think that Bilam ever blessed anybody in his life. Because if so, he would say to him, so give me a blessing. But he was just trying to flatter him. That's what he's going to say now. Therefore, come and curse them for me. Let's just do the next. We'll go back to these next three. Lacha. Excuse me. 1 minute. I'll say it right. So he says, therefore, now, this is the same sentence we were just on. Therefore, come with me and curse these people, because I know whoever you bless is blessed and whoever you curse is cursed. So that's what I was trying to say, that the fact of the matter, he can't give blessings, but he gives really curses. Curses good. He was just trying to flatter him. Let's see Rashi. Nakabo, ani v'ami nakabahem. I and my people, this is what Balak is saying. Give them a little curse, just weaken them a little bit, and then I can destroy them. Or he's saying, menakabo miradamim lechaser me'em me'at. Take away from them, nakabayim. Remove some of the people. Maybe we can get, at least they'll be afraid of us a little bit. Because I know whoever you bless is blessed and whoever you curse is cursed. How does he know that? Because way back then, there was a war with Sichon that Bilam helped them to defeat Moab. Way back a long time ago, there was a war that Bilam helped Sichon, who became the big king that Israel just destroyed now, defeat Moab. So what does he mean with whoever you could bless? The Rashbam says, I know whoever you bless is blessed. How does he know? With prophecy. Balak was also a prophet. He could also tell the future. Or maybe he knew by means of some sort of sorcery. Because also Bilam became Nikra Bilam Akosim. It was called a sorcerer in the book of Joshua. He thought that maybe it would help his Balak, thought that maybe Bilam would make all sorts of new sorts of tricks, and he could make sacrifices that maybe his curses would work. Excuse me. Okay, let's go a little further here. It's a long first day. Moab, Now they're on the way to talk to Bilam, right? We just learned what the message is. And so the elders of Moab and Midian, they went together, the Kasamim Biadam, and they had all sorts of tricks themselves. They also knew a little bit of sorcery. Bilam, they went to Bilam and they said what Balak said. Namely, what? Come, curse the Jews. Right? You know, whoever you bless is blessed. Or Rashi, Kasamim Biadam, Kol Mini Kasamim. They also had all sorts of magic and sorcery and witchcraft. Shalom or Ein Kli Tashmishi Imi. So they won't say, so we won't say, listen, these people, they have nothing in common with me. So they brought all sorts of magic also. Kesem Zen Natal Biyadam. So they took a trick in their hands. What did they trick? What was the trick they took? They took a trick like this, that said they said, we are going to, I'd say divine, we can tell the future. If Bilam comes with us immediately, Yeshlo Mamash, then maybe there's hope. But if he pushes us away, Ein Bo Toelas, he's not going to help us. He's not worth anything. Therefore, we're going to see in a couple of minutes, Kasher Omar Lehem, when he says, Linu Po Alayla, let's wait till the morning. They said, Ein Bo Tikva, this guy we can't, there's no hope in him. And Yehua, they left. Shinamar, but he says, Vayeshu Sari Moab in Bilam, that the Midian, the Zikne Midian, they left. They left because they had this trick in their hands. They understood that if he doesn't go with them immediately, return with them immediately, then there's nothing in it. But the people from Moab, they remained. They remained. Rashbam explains it a little differently. Rashbam says that he took all sorts of sorcery with him because they said, Pen Yomar Ein Biadi Minik Samim. Because he would say, listen, maybe Bilam, maybe Balak doesn't understand magic at all. Right? I'm going to go there to people that don't have any comprehension of what I'm going to do. So they came also to show, listen, we know a little bit about magic ourselves. Like it says, Kosem Yerushalayim Kalkel Bechitzim She'al Terafim Ra'or Bekikar. Okay. And so he wanted to say, listen, we're friends with, we understand you. Sifronos is also a little bit different. He says that they brought the people of Midian and Moab, they brought all sorts of sorcery with them, Kli Akesim, all sorts of magical tricks. Because Bilam, he was a great sorcerer. He knew exactly when the minute was. Kasher Bilam ben Beora Kosim Horgu b'nei Yisrael b'charev al Chalaleim. He said that Bilam, we're going to see afterwards, Bilam knows how to curse the Jewish people. In fact, his trick did work. We'll see in the end that he sent the daughters of Moab to prostitute themselves. He knew that there was some way or other that they would be able to get them. Malbim says like this: when Bilam, Basher, because they know that Bilam, he knew how to give curses and be a sorcerer, but he was not a prophet. He wasn't a prophet, at least up to now. All of a sudden now, he got powers of prophecy for the sake of the Jewish people. And afterwards, it says he returned back to be only a sorcerer alone. Because we're going to see that Bilam is going to give these amazing prophecies about what's going to be with the Jews in the end of days and said. But Bilam ben Beor, the sorcerer, it says that they killed him. Bechorev, in the book of Hosea, you're going to see that They made a war against him. They killed him, flew in the air. They took with them all sorts of two ways of looking at it. Either they took with them weapons of actual war because they knew that there was, according to their sorcery, that there was going to be a war with them, or they took all sorts of magic wands or whatever they had in order to defeat against the Jews. So he said to them, Linu po alayla v'hashivote etchem davar. So they said, Bilam said, good, okay, I hear what you have to say. I hear you the offer. I'm not making any comments. Stay overnight, and then I'll say in the morning, I'll tell you what to do. Vayeshvu Sarai Moab and Bilam, like it says in the princes of Moab, they remained. But the ones of Midian, they left because they knew that he wouldn't succeed. Rashi says, stay here at night. In Ruach HaKodesh Shura Alel Ben Loila. It says because Bilam, the God's spirit only appeared to him in the nighttime. And also all of the other prophets of the non-Jews, idolaters, and also Lavan, right? Lavan, the father-in-law of Yaakov. B'chalom loila. It says that God only appeared to him in the nighttime. Lavan Arami b'chalom loila. Like a person that goes to his mistress in the nighttime. Kasher yidaber Hashem elai. Im yalichin lelechas. Im bnei adam kamotchem elichimochem. Shema ein kavodo letiti laloch elim sarim gedolim mikem. He said, we'll see if God will allow me to go with people like you. Bilam is speaking to the people from Moab. And he said, listen, really, you fellows aren't really big ministers. You're not real big princes or something like that. But it could be that God will allow me to go with simple people like you. So we'll see. I have to sleep on it. I have to get my visions in the nighttime. So Vayeshvu, so they delayed. Or Hachaim HaKadosh says that when he said, sleep here, what does it mean here? It says maybe the intention was that they would go with him to his place of sleeping, his tent or whatever. But Gam Omer, and he said the reason why, because he meant to say that the reason that he told them to stay overnight was in order that immediately, as soon, and be with me, I want you to be close to me, because immediately God sends him a message, he'll immediately tell them what God said. That's why he said, stay with me tonight. And if they didn't sleep in the same place, it wouldn't be that way. That's why he said tonight, because maybe we can say another thing, that because he was stingy, so he said, I'm only going to let you stay here for one night. I mean, maybe God will talk to him tomorrow. He said, no, you can stay with me for one night, because he figured if God doesn't speak to me, so why should I waste my money for a couple of nights, right? They'll sleep here for one night and that's it. And God came to Bilam and he said, who are these people that came to see you? What God is asking him, he doesn't know. La toto. God said this in order to make him error, to give him a mistake. He figured that God really didn't know who these people were. Omer, it says, Pamim she'ena kol galui. Look, hey, I see that sometimes God doesn't know. Ain't that to shavel of? God isn't always aware all the time what goes. Sometimes he gets these, bursts of awareness, and sometimes not. I'll show God. It says it could be that if God doesn't really know what's going on all the time, because God is saying, who are these people? As though that all of a sudden, I'm sorry. God said, I just, sometimes it works and sometimes it just doesn't work. So he thought that, oh, God once in a while also doesn't know what's going on. So I'll wait for that time he doesn't know, and then I'll curse the Jews. Now he's getting all sorts of mixed up messages over here, Bilam. On one hand, God is indicating him to him that he wants to go. On the other hand, God is telling him flat out that he does not want him to go. Finally, in the end, it comes out to be a good thing that he goes, because from this is going to come out the most powerful prophecies about Mashiach. Safrono says a little bit different. He said, who are these people with you? Who are these people? God was asking Bilam, who are these people that you're preparing yourself for prophecy because of them in order to know what to do with them? They're coming to you, maybe they're coming to you just to ask for future things. And you want to know what's going to be in the future in order to tell them. Or maybe they're coming to you that they want to have something. Maybe they want to curse you. And now you want to ask permission if you can go. You don't even know really what they want. That's what God is saying. Right? Who are these people that are coming with you? Are you so sure that they want to hire you? Maybe they're coming to defeat you. Bilam said to God, Balak ben Zippor, the king of Moab, he was the one that sent them to me. Rashi says, even though he's saying to God, even though that maybe I'm not so important in your eyes, but I am important in the eyes of kings. As though to say, God, you don't really appreciate me. You don't really know who I am. Right? Behold, there's a people that came from Egypt and they're covering this is the message I got, and they're covering the face of the earth. Now, please curse me, says, this is what Balak sent to him. Maybe I can make a war with them and defeat them. He just said, when he sent, he says, orally. The message that he really got was orally. Or also means to curse. Here, when Bilam repeats this to God, so he says kavali. He says this is worse than orally. Shu nokev, kava means the nokev umaforish. This is exact, a curse exactly that you can't get out of. He says va'argasheno. He said I can war with them the gerashtiv, and I will war with them and evict them. Now, when he got the message in the beginning, he just said, and evict them from the land, right? That the Jews are coming to attack. I wanted to evict them from the land. But when Bilam said it to God, he said, V'gerashtiv, to evict them totally. He said, from the world. Balak only said, when he sent the messages to Bilam, Balak said, I want you to get rid of them from the land, from my land, that they should get away from my country. Just get them away from me. And Bilam hated them more than Balak did. Bilam wanted to destroy them totally from the whole entire world. So God says, El Bilam lo telechem ohem. Don't go with these messengers. Lo ta'arat am. You're not going to curse the Jews. Ki borachu, because they are blessed. No matter what you try, it's not going to work. Rashi, Omer lo, he said to him, Imkain, he said, don't go with them. God said, don't go with them. So Bilam said, okay, I won't go with them. I'll curse them from here. Omer lo, he said, lo ta'arasam, don't curse them. So he said, okay, I won't curse them, but I won't bless them either. Oh, I'm sorry. He said, I won't curse them. You know what? I'll give them a blessing. I was just told that whoever I bless, will be blessed. God said, don't go with them. Don't curse them from here. And don't bless them either. They don't need your blessing. Ki borachu, they're already blessed. Mashal, it's like they say, l'tzi'ira. They say to a hornet or to whatever. Some people say a dvora, some people say a bee. Lo miduvshech v'lo mioktzech. Right? You have a beehive. I'll bring a beehive into your house. You'll have a lot of honey. Says, listen, I don't want the honey and I don't want the stings. Give them out, get out, give them out. I don't want the blessings and I don't want the curse. Same thing with you. Bilam, God said, just don't go with them. Just keep to yourself. Don't curse them. Don't bless them. They're already blessed. Vayakam Bilam Baboker, he went in them and he said, he said, you'll have to go to your own land. Because God refused to let me go with them. And they thought that it meant that they didn't make him a big enough offer. They didn't make him a big enough offer to give him more money. Well, just one moment. We're going to get also to the famous donkey, Bilam's donkey. He talks to. There we go. Excuse me one second. I just want to watch something. Yeah, that's right. To go with them. So they said, we'll give you more money. What do you say about that? And finally, we're going to see that Bilam says, you know what, maybe I can go with them somehow. Maybe I can get around it. And this we're going to learn, God willing, tomorrow. Let's do Pirkei Avot a little bit. I'm sorry, I had a little bit of problems with technical problems. I hope everything works out all right. Let's just one second. How this works over here.